Hello everyone, Ceri the Crafter here, that's C-E-R-I the Crafter, and today I'm here with an unfinished project. So, last year I sorted out my stencil storage and I changed over to this, which is a scrapbook, and I put pockets in it, and this is how I now do my stencils. These are all the stencils for my fellow designers at PM Artist Studio. Really loved this idea, and I thought, right, I need to do one for my stencils. However, I found a problem. Okay, found this inexpensive 12 by 12 scrapbook and bought it ready to go. Put the first pocket in and immediately found a problem. I don't have any more pieces big enough to actually do the pockets with. I mean, I've got shell prints, don't get me wrong, but I needed 12 by 12s because I do the pockets 4 inches by about maybe about 11 in this scrapbook. So I didn't have enough pieces, so I thought, right, we just need to quickly make, say, another 6 pages and I'll be happy. Now, 6 pages will give me 3 pockets per, that's 6, 12, 18. 18 is enough to get me started. And then any scraps, because I do have smaller pockets on some pages for the smaller, like 5 by 7s and that, I might be able to do those. So I was going to pull out my normal cardstock, which is 12 by 12 and it's 250 GSM, but I needed to go down to Hobbycraft, which is my only craft store at the present. And I thought, right, let's have a quick look around there. Now, they had this pad of Christmas 12 by 12 there. There's all the details on the sides. There's probably what you're going to ask me, and there's 24 sheets in this. Now, this was on sale for £5, and I had a £2.50 voucher. So this 24 sheets of 12 by 12 came out at £2.50. My normal block of paper is between £7 and £8. This was a bargain, and I never shy away from using 12 by 12s. Some of you are going to say, but Ceri, those papers are lovely, I'd use those. Well, you know what, go on my iPad, because I'm not going to use them for this. I'm just going to take out 6 of these, and I'm going to use these as backgrounds to paint upon. It's not as heavy duty as my other cardstock, but to be honest with you, that's actually not a problem. I don't mind if it's slightly lighter weight, because it's not going to be under a lot of duress. There's going to be paint on it as well anyway. So let's put this to one side. Right, so I've got 6. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now the question is, do I print on this side or do I print on this side? It doesn't actually matter to me because these are going to be pockets. So I think I'm going to leave that as it is and paint on this side, so I get a truer vibrance of my paints without having to worry to maybe try and cover up any pattern. So that's what we're going to do today. So you've always said you like playing along with me or just watching me play, and I'm quite happy to do that. The other thing I want to do is I've got lots of paint that is coming to the end of its term, should we say. It's basically bottles that I've mixed up that are maybe running low, and I'm like, let's just see if I can run them completely out. So I'm going to start with, there's already grunge on here, so I have no real plan other than to just get some colour down, and I'm going to keep the bottles I'm using to one side because then they can actually be used on any of the other prints, and it's another opportunity to use up some paint that, besides being really old, which a lot of my paints are old, as you may know, I'm changing over to using slightly better quality paint is what I want to use, because I'm now beginning to make art pieces and do projects in my art journal, which I would really like. I'm not saying they're going to be archival, because to be honest with you, the definition of archival, I'm not really sure what it is. And also, my work is never going to be sat in a museum. Let's just put that down. Let's pick up some. Never going to be sat in a museum. And if it is, oh, well, lucky me if it is, but if it does happen that my art is merited with being able to be kept, then believe me, with the technology they have out there, they will find a way of preserving it. It's not like I'm using anything that's too ancient, or you get where I'm going with this, right? So that's just a plain orange background, and I'm okay with that. So let's put that down on the floor. Now, when I say down on the floor, I mean behind me on the floor, I've got, oh, I might as well put it straight on there, I suppose. Behind me on the floor, I've got an old shower curtain, which I usually put down, which just protects my carpet from whatever's going to go on top of it if I happen to drop something. And I'm also not precious about the carpet, although the carpet, when you reckon it's been down, 3 years now, I think, in this room. Knock on wood, if I can find any. There you go. There's no marks on it. There's no paint on it. I don't know how I've done it, but I'm quite happy that I have. Let's turn this around and pick up more. The reason I turn it around a few times to pick up stuff is purely because my gel plate is an old gel plate, and over the years it's kind of distorted itself a little bit. Well, it hasn't done it, I've done it. So right, let's put that down. As I've got yellow on here and yellow on here, I'm just going to pick up some more with my orange one, because it's all about layers, isn't it? It's always about layers. And if I choose my colours correctly, then they should all work together anyway. See, that's just giving it another layer of something or other. Right, I wanted to use, this is green gold, this is green gold. Oh! See, this is one of the ones that's definitely running out. That's probably way too much on there, but we'll see. We'll see where it goes. So, as you probably heard in my last video, where I finished off at last my abstract Christmas style cards, I have no idea what's going on with me. I'm normally extremely organized, very productive. I put out 2 or 3 videos a week. I manage that quite easily with doing them and everything else that's going on in my life. And for some reason, this past couple of weeks, I've just been afloat on an ocean without any direction, basically. I have no idea what's going on with me. I just don't seem to be able to achieve things, and my motivation has just gone out the window. Now, I've always said I'm one of those people that's affected by the full moon, and I am affected by the full moon, and I believe currently we're just coming out of a full moon, and one of my lovely subscribers said that something was in retrograde, or anyway, whether you believe that or not, as far as the effect on the human body, I completely believe it. I've always, I mean, you could put me in a locked room with no access to daylight, and I could tell you when it was a full moon, because things just go, let's just say they don't go well on those days. Right, building up. The reason I'm not really showing you anything as we're going along, guys, is you're going to see it numerous times, because each of them will get pulled in time and time again. So yeah, so I have no idea what's going on, other than it's got to be something to do with planetary alignment or something like that. And also there's a few things going on, because it's that time of year when the house insurance is up for renewal, the car insurance, the MOT, the just, you know, all of that stuff you don't really want to face, but you have to, because it's part of being a human being, and it's part of my life that I need to now look after those things. So I don't know, it's a combination of several things. And as 1 or 2 of you have mentioned, where the hell is this year going? Excuse the French, but I'm like, seriously, where is this year going? I just feel like I've lost control of the year. Seriously, I mean, it's like, well, let's put it this way. We're closer to this coming Christmas than the one we just had. So that's scary. Right, let's put a bit of pink in here. Now, my plan is I'm going to make some backgrounds, as you can see me doing here. I'm then going to come in, probably do some other painty techniques on top of them, probably kissing the plate. If you've watched my videos, you'll know what that is. I might use the odd stencil on here. I'll almost definitely use some mark making tools. I will probably use some of my foam stamps as well, just because I'm a designer of foam stamps. Why wouldn't I use them? So yes, so I'm also very conscious that these backgrounds are going to be cut into 3 strips of 4 inches by, well, they initially be cut down to 4 by 12. And then I'll work it out from there. So knowing that they're going to be cut down just means for me that I don't need to think of it as a whole. I need to think of it as strips, which, to be honest, I'm not really concentrating on that. I just want to have a bit of a good time playing on the plate. Right, looking behind me, I've got 2 that are almost the same in colour, so I just want to put a little something extra on this one. I love the colour green gold, but I'd rather it was a bit different than the regular green gold that I normally use. Do I want... No, let's leave that thought alone. So this is my orange one, and this is red, and it's a fluid, and I don't normally use fluids very often. I've only got a couple, and I'm not good at them because I tend to put too much of them on the gel plate. But I'm going to pick up patches to almost try and, what's the word I'm looking for? Make them slightly more grungy, I suppose. Just to give them some points of interest. A bit like that, really. So I put a bit more up there. So I will probably regard that now ready. We'll need to get rid of that little white bit in the corner. I need to regard these now as ready for stencils or mark making for me. Make sure there's no white on the edges. Now I'm going to bring that green one back in. That was a green gold that was a bit too much like the other green gold. I'm just going to use up the spare paint from there just to put something on there. So that's that one. Now the yellow one, this one could have some purple, I think. Let's do some plum purple on here. I'm not showing you the brands, guys, because to be honest with you, I always want people to use what they've got, not go out and buy what I'm using. It doesn't matter to you what paint I'm using. If you like the color combinations, take a screenshot or just look at the thumbnail or make a note of what the color combinations are and go from there. That's what I would say. Right, this might have picked up some of that background. And it did, that's fine. Right, so this plum purple, I can see the final pull on here. It's going to be fun. I might actually, it's a bit more than I needed of that, but I think I can deal with that. I think I might just get a nice clean sheet to do the pull on this one, because it's going to be quite an interesting background when I get to pull it off here. So again, I'm going to come down and just pick up pieces of this, not trying to be clever about things, just getting pieces done and dusted. There you go, that gives it interest. What I think I'll do is there's pink on here, and this is pink. It's a different shade of purple, sorry. It's a different shade, but that will give it a slight level of intensity. There you go, that's making that more interesting. We've got this green gold here. Now I wonder whether I want to put some sort of brown or ochre or ochre. No, it's ochre, isn't it? I got informed the other day that I've been calling it the wrong name, which to me is not a surprise. I get so many names wrong. It's not ochre or ochre. Where's it? Ochre. Ochre is the vegetable. No, ochre, I've got confused again. Ochre is the colour, ochre is the vegetable. I believe that's how it goes. Sorry guys, thank you for everyone who helped me try and work out what it was, but as you can see, my memory just doesn't retain names. It's something that's inherited, because I know that my mother could never remember whether what my name and my sister's name were, or the dog's name, and she would quite often be heard calling us in from the garden by either the wrong name or the dog's name. I mean, seriously, no wonder I've got a mixed up childhood. So that's looking a bit better. So I've got this one next, and this might be a mistake, but I'm going to go with this just because I don't use this colour very often, and there's no reason why I shouldn't. Let's just take up pieces of this. Okay, that's fine. I was worried that I'd overdone it with that, but that turned out quite nicely. Yeah. I think I'm going to come in with this one and put some of it on here as well. I know lots of people, when they work as I'm working here, get very worried that they're going to make a mistake. You make a mistake, put white over the top and start again. I mean, seriously, or put the one you don't like to one side and maybe come back to it in a week or two, and I can guarantee you'll come up with a different idea on how to cure it, like in that. So this is where we're at with this one. Now I'm going to be a little more picky about where I put the white on here. Actually, maybe I'll put this on with a brayer. I won't do the pickup method. So I'm just going to load my brayer up. Not a thick amount. I'm going to skim it down. I'm going to keep with verticals and horizontals, because if you know me, that's kind of how my brain is figured. I think I'm going to do that with each of them, to be honest with you. I know someone is going to ask, Ceri, why are you doing 6 pages at a time? I'm doing that because if I'm working at one at a time, I am more likely to procrastinate about my decisions. Whereas I found, for me personally, if I'm actually working on mass, I tend to not worry for some reason. And I think worry is the wrong word. What I mean is I tend to not dither. I'm a little more free in my creativity when I do mass make type projects. So I'll be glad when this project's done, because currently I've got my larger stencils in ring binders and what's the other thing? File folders, which worked well for a long while, but now I've got to the point where I'm like, okay, it's annoying me now. I want them all in one place. And this is that exercise. Now, you could obviously do diagonals and things like that. I'm just not that person. I do diagonals very, very rarely, like very rarely. I don't know why I avoid diagonals, probably because I've got like OCD tendencies, and I'm obviously a perfectionist, which I battle continually. And I do find that I find horizontal and vertical calming. I find angles, like diagonals, I don't know why, they just make me panic slightly. It's as if I can't control them, or I failed to do a straight line. It's a weird one. I have no idea why my brain is the way it is. It's an interesting brain, let's put it that way. Let's just take some of that out there and put it there. Right, last one, and then we're going to see how I want to add stencils, or which stencils. And I might stay with the colours I've actually got in front of me, the ones I've been using so far, because they should work for everything. I will come in with black, I will come in with white. There's even a chance I'll use metallics, because that's kind of just the way I function. So put that on there so that it's going to clean that plate for me. So I think I'm at the point now where I need to turn this camera off and actually get these dry, because as I said, it's not such heavy card as I normally work with. So I'd like to dry them because they feel damp to me, which they obviously are. And then I'll come back. So back in 2 seconds, guys. And I'm back. So I've also taken the opportunity to pull out a couple of my stencil designs. I pulled out Hopeless Harlequin because I love Hopeless Harlequin. Pulled out Dainty Dots. I pulled out, this is Feathery Fern. I think this is Feathery Fern. And I can't remember what this is called. Isn't it horrible? I've forgotten it. Anyway, something distortions. Anyway, if you go to my description box below, click on the word more and it will open the description box. Depending on what device you're on, it'll either show under the video or it'll show in a column down the side. In there at the bottom, you'll see a link to Stencil Shop Quick View, Foam Stamp Quick View. Clicking those links will take you through to my website so that you can just see only my designs. However, if you click on any of the images to see more information or to purchase it, it will take you through to PM Artist Studio, who I designed for, and that's where you can purchase and look at other options and have a look around, because the other designers have done fabulous work as well. Right, so let's just get some paint down now. I think I want to just pick it up in areas. Let's pop that down there. Let's start with the blue one. Right, now, this is the blue I used, and I'd rather it was something like a teal for this. So let's come in, this is a dark teal. And I don't need a huge amount of it. Although this is one of my very favourite stencils. So I'm just blurring it out now. There are loads of different ways you could do this, guys. You could sponge the design onto your background. You could actually come in with one of those highly dense makeup brushes, which is what I'm tending to lean towards lately, funny enough, as far as putting paint through a stencil. Right. Now I think I'm going to lift this off and see whether I can just put it onto my print. I'm just pressing it down into areas on my print. I can't show you because I haven't got enough space to do it. But what I've done is I pressed it down, and then as you can see, it just gives ever so slight in the background. And then I'm going to come in and I'm going to pick up some of this design. A little bit more up there. That's enough on there. And I think I'm going to come in with the green one. Now, because I've already picked up a lot of the teal, this will be very, very faint. There you go. But this isn't going to be the last time. Actually, yes, we're going to leave that as is. Where's the other one gone? Right, so we've got this colour. Now, there's hints of brown in this. Do I want... This could potentially do with a touch of purple. I'd like it to be purple, purple. Like real purple. Now, this is Shuttle Art. It's a metallic, but what it is it's a transparent or a semi-transparent paint. And also it's running out by the sounds of it. which is not a bad thing. I don't use purple that often actually, which don't really know why, because purple doesn't offend me in any way, shape or form. It just happens to be I don't use it very often. I think like everyone, we all migrate to certain colour groups that we like. Like if I asked anyone, they would probably list exactly the colours that they go, oh, those are Ceri colours. In fact, I've got a friend called Jane, and every time she sees anything I do, she goes, oh yeah, those are your colours, aren't they? And I'm like, will you stop that? Stop it. So I'm going to come down, pick up some pieces, say just enough to make it interesting. And then I'm just going to come in and put this whole one down just to clean that up slightly. There's going to be little bits on the back, but that's fine with me. So what one are you going to go on? I think I want to put it on this one. Yes, I do. And I think I want to put it on with the brown. Or should I say caramel? Oh, this is so running out. I can see you and I are going to be having a little scrape today. Oh, there's a lot of paint out today now I've done that. I've probably got far too much paint down here, it's slipping around. But you know what? That's fine. We'll work with it. And that needs to come out to there. Right, I have to be careful because this is going to be a bit squishy. Pick that up from there. Pick that up down there. I'm liking that so far. Put that across there. Yes, that was subtle and I like that. So I'm down to my last one now, and I'm going to use Feathery Fern, which I love Feathery Fern. Well, I like all of them, or I wouldn't have designed them, would I? But then I must admit there are a few favourites. There are a few favourites. Right, I'd like something. You'll note I'm not going for high contrast, and that is because we haven't got that far in the process yet. So I want something on there. I think I'm going to use an orange. I know I've got orange on one of them. That's quite a liquid orange. I'm not sure how much this is going to show, but as I said, I'm looking for subtlety at this point. I have to move those stencils in a minute, they might be sticking to each other. Right, leave that there. There you go, that's nice. It's interesting in the background. That's all I'm looking for, is just interest in the background. So first thing I'm going to do is do my favourite thing, which is use this draw liner stuff, the non-slip sticky matte stuff. It's really built up with paint over the years, so I know that it's going to give me more than just the colour I put on when it's used a little bit. Now, for anyone who's going to ask, because I know someone's going to ask, is there going to be a process video for me making my stencil storage scrapbook? The answer is no, because there's already 2 on there. So I will actually put in the description box below the initial make of how I did it, and then there was a follow-up which gave my results and how I felt about it. So they're already done, so I will put them in the description box underneath. Now I'm going to use this grid on every one of these, and I'm going to do it in white, purely for speed. Also, it'll give some kind of continuity to my storage pages. So I'm just going to come in, And the person who tells me, Ceri, you always start in the top right-hand corner. You know, you're right, I do. And I can't help that because that's just the way I'm wired. So this is really subtle at this point, and I'm liking that. The reason it's subtle is because I haven't put a lot of paint down there, and also there's a lot of paint already on here, so it doesn't pick up. Paint doesn't pick up paint as much as it picks up other stuff. Bring in the next one. Put a little more paint down. There you go, look at that. I started in a different area. How shocking. It'll probably go viral, that now. Yeah, but then I come over here and do it where I would have done it in the first place. Right, really liking the subtlety of this. I am getting to the point, though, where I think this piece of non-slip matte is probably reaching the end of its life because it's not picking up much paint. But today, that's what I was hoping for. I was hoping for it not to pick up too much paint. I'm also running out of white paint, so I'm being a little bit cautious with how much I use. Although I wish I'd realised it. I was in Hobbycraft yesterday. I could actually have picked up some more. But no, I forgot. Man of a certain age, that's me. And, oh, still a little tiny bit down here. I can get it to come off. Yeah, just a little bit. So we've got a ton of layers going on all of these, which is exactly what I wanted. Because as I said, layers create interest and it makes you stop and look into something. Also, the more I put on top that's higher contrast, the less the confusion or the busyness of the background will stand out. I'm only putting it on my gel plate because it just holds it in place for me. Right, down to the last two. Oops. I don't mind the pages curling because I know that tomorrow when these are fully dry, I will put them under some weights and just let maybe a couple of books press them flat. Because I mean, no, I don't need to do the new storage system like as soon as possible. I need to do it because I want to do it. But I know I'm in no great rush. Right, now I've got those on there. Does any of these, I might use my brayer just to skip some white patches in. Let's see if any of the others need that treatment. Because we don't like to waste paint here. Now I think I'm going to pull in some foam stamps because why wouldn't I? I design foam stamps. Although I don't want to do every single foam stamp I've got because I'll be washing up for days. However, I do think I need to pull in a few favourites. So, right, let's have a quick look. Right. There's nothing in there I want to pull in. Ooh, this is my favourite box. I like that one. I keep saying that. I actually like all of them. Spirals is a good one. All of these, as I said, can be found on my website or on PMR Tissue. I don't want numbers and letters. I have to have circles. I couldn't possibly not have circles. They're going to go with the grungy circles, a small size, however. Bubble wrap. Let's bring in some bubble wrap. All of this stamping is going to be done in black, by the way. I think that's all I need. That looks like... yeah, I'm just going to keep it at that. I'm deciding whether I want to put... yeah, I might do that one. I think that's sketchy grid or something like that. I quite like that one. It looks a bit like... I don't know, it always reminds me of mummy wrappings, and I have no idea why. So, I've got all of my stamps ready to go. I say all, I've only pulled out 6. That's more than enough, I feel. And I'm going to start, and as all of this stamping is going to be done in black, I can complete each one as I've got it in front of me. I'm just using Mars Black acrylic paint. I'm probably going to need more than that in a little bit, but that's fine with me. Right, because this is so busy, I'm going with a bolder design. Now, when I press down, I tend to press in the middle at the back of the stamp. And I do that because sometimes when a laser cuts a foam stamp, it sort of constricts in the middle of the design. I'm also remembering that these are being cut into 3s. Right, so I've got a heavy duty design. I'm now going to put in just a hint of this. Probably there. Because those are going to be cut. Yes, I think we're going to call that finished. I will give you a look at them afterwards, guys. Right, this one looks like it's drying up already. Right, this is bubble wrap. I think that's style 3. There are 3 sizes in the bubble wrap. There's a small, medium, and a large, but we call them style 1, style 2, style 3. Like a touch of bubble wrap, me. And I think because I've got a circular type feel to those, I'll come in with sketchy spirals, which is another favourite of mine. I must stop saying that because they're all favourites, really. Now, the other thing I'm going to be doing, by the way, is when these are cut into strips, I will then be sticking labels on there to name what the stencil is inside. So a lot of this may not be seen. Right. This one. Let's go the grungy circles on this one, because it's going to look really good on this background. Now, the thing I really like about grungy circles is the organic edge. So I can actually come in and continue the design in any way I wish, with it looking like one stamp when it's obviously not. It's not to us because we're watching me do this. Right, what haven't I got? I've got all of those in. Those are there. Do I want dots? I think I do want dots. I really like this stamp. And I like the way it doesn't always stamp with a solid dot. I like that sort of faded look that I get with it. I mean, if I want it to be more solid, I could just come in and brayer directly on it, or once it's on there, what I can do is, once it's dry, I could just go in with some acrylic paint if I really needed to, but let's just say that's not necessary because that's the look I was going for when I designed it. Right. Waving wheat. Wait, I mean feathery fern. No, or is it? I can't. One of them is called green maiden fern, and one's is called feathery fern. And I always get the two of them mixed up. Right, really loving the contrast of this on here. It's quite light and airy, isn't it? Let's go back to spirals. That's that one done. Now, if all goes to plan, I'm going to do quite a big launch of foam stamps in September. The reason I'm doing a reasonably large launch in September is because that's going to be like my Christmas launch. Because what's the point of launching something in December when by the time you receive it, you're not going to have it in time to use it for any of your Christmas projects? So as I said, I'm going to come in and launch my Christmas style foam, well, not Christmas style, they're nothing to do with Christmas. My designs for the Christmas launch will be, as I've just said, done in September. That's if everything goes to plan. I mean, who knows? I mean, the way international shipping is nowadays, who knows whether I'll receive them or not. Right, that's that one done. No, that'll be cut into a strip, that's fine. So September will be my launch of it will be my Christmas timed launch. I'm trying to get away from the word Christmas because I know you're all going, oh, Ceri's designed Christmas foam stamps. No, I haven't. I've designed you some more useful artist trading card size, which is 3.5 by 2.5 foam stamps. This size that you can use on any of your work. I want to get them out so that you've got the option of maybe receiving them as a gift, something like that. And I also just remind you guys that if you've got relatives who say, oh, I never know what to buy you, PM Artist Studio does gift vouchers. They could purchase you a gift voucher and you can go on to PM Artist Studio and use it. And believe me, there's probably got to be thousands of designs on there by now. I mean, I don't know exactly how many designs are on PM Artist Studio. I know I've got a fair whack of them. And when you reckon how many designers there are designing for PM Artist Studio, there's got to be a fair crack of them. So what I would say is suggest that they give you a gift voucher, because believe me, then you get to shop for yourself. Right, I think that's that one done. This one feels like it needs something, but maybe it's just me. It's not bright and bold and beautiful, but that's just me. So here we are, all nice and finished, not fully dried. I just put a hairdryer on them just so I can finish up the video. You saw it all here, guys. I think this is probably going to be around about a 60-minute video. Not sure. Anything I've edited out will just be cleaning, sorting out, wiping stuff down, that sort of stuff. You don't need to see that. But you've seen me do these, and I've taken them from a 12 by 12 pad and turn them into this. Will you see the final flip through of the stencil thing, stencil storage? No, because I said you've got 2 previous videos you can watch. But in the course of making my videos, you may catch glimpses of it as I pull it into select videos. So this one I thought was a little bit dull for me, but you know what? Now I look at it, I'm okay. It's subtle, but I like it. This one is so much more me. This is fiery and bright and colourful. Love it. I haven't put metallics on any of these, which is quite a surprise because I normally do. But like that. I tried to name the stencils and the stamps as I went along. If I missed one, just go to my website and look at the stencil page or look at the stamp page. They're close-up images. You will definitely be able to recognize them there. As I said, click on the image. It'll take you through to PM Artist Studio for further information and purchasing. So there you go. Again, there isn't really a right up or down. I'm probably going to do it in this orientation because the diamonds I feel should be in that direction. But if it ends up being cut that way, also doesn't bother me. This one's subtle. I could have come in and put more into this, but remember, this is going to be 4-inch strip, a 4-inch strip, a 4-inch strip, and then there's going to be the labels which are naming the stencils designs on them anyway. This has to go this way because these diamonds are this way. Obviously one of my favorites because this is very much my favorite pool of colors. And then this is my all-time favorite of what they've made today. Slightly in order, got a bit of a messy patch here where I over stenciled, but I said cut it in 3s, that might be where the label goes. But I really like this pink, white, yellow and orange with black accents. That worked really well for me. So hopefully you've enjoyed that, guys. Just a bit of a make me trying to complete a project that needed completing probably about 6 months ago, and I didn't get around to it. So I'm Ceri the Crafter. That's Ceri the Crafter. Until next time, goodbye now.